So welcome to part 2 of the NHS. So as I was saying in the last one, my mum had the carers in place. She was able to go home. In the meantime, we're getting her all ready. She's coming home. They brought her home. It's all great. We had the hospital notes come with her. Now, we didn't know. From the very first hospital, my mother had a DNR put on her. Fuming. No consultation with the family whatsoever, and they've got on the notes on there that this was the patient's consent. Now, I know for a fact, I've known my mum all my life, obviously, she would not consent to a DNR. She is a very strong woman. She's got a fight and a zest for life. She would not consent to that. But what I will tell you is, which I have left out so far, is my mum is hard of hearing. She's got a hearing aid, okay? Very hard of hearing. So sometimes she doesn't get what you're saying. You have to really speak up or repeat it several times to her. So if someone doesn't understand, and this is signed off by doctors, by the way, this is signed off by doctors to say that she consented to this. Now, what were you saying to her for her to consent to that? Because she wouldn't have understood that. So that is an illegal in itself, when a patient does not understand what you're saying, but then you get them to agree to it. That's illegal. So that's another story I'm going through at the moment. But anyway, she gets discharged, and obviously it's all going great at home. She's happy to be home. The carers are coming in. Carers are lovely, and I get on with them. My dad gets on them. Mum loves them. It's all going great. Then over the weekend, just the past weekend, she got sick. She was just like, I just feel poorly. I just feel, her chest is hurting. Her stomach's hurting. So I think this started on the Sunday. She wasn't eating. She was drinking little sips of drink, but she wasn't eating because every time she ate, it hurt. It hurt her chest and her tummy. So I'm not too concerned about the eating, because we can not eat for a couple of days, can't we? You know, as long as you're drinking. Monday night, she's still not well. She's, her chest is hurting, everything's hurting. And so I got Dad to phone the hospital. Well, the GP surgery at the time. He phones them first, and it was about 10 minutes to closing time, something like that. And so Dad was like, she needs to see a doctor, but she's can't walk, something's happened and she can't walk, sort of thing. This should be on your notes anyway, it should have been sent over to the GP surgery. Oh, we can't help at the moment because we're closing. That's GP surgeries for you these days. Years ago, they wouldn't have cared even if they were closed, just closed, should I say, not like really out of hours, but if they're just closed, they'd be like, right, we'll see to you. Now, nothing. No, we're closing in 10 minutes, so we can't deal with you. So Dad rang 111. Anyway, various questions. They said they're sending an ambulance out and the medics will look at Mum. So the medics come, they've done their tests, and there's problems with her heart. So they said she's got to go into hospital, because if she doesn't get it seen to, it could clot. So we're like, here we go. So Monday night, she goes back to hospital, and Dad was with her, and then he comes back Tuesday morning. We bring him back Tuesday morning. Mum's still in there. She's still in A&E, by the way, all night. This is where she's been left. So anyway, fast forward, last night, which was Tuesday night, she finally got a bed in a ward, in the cardio ward, so they can monitor. The cardiologist has looked at her and said she's had a heart attack. Now, this was a big shock, because it wasn't severe where she had to be resuscitated, but it was a big shock. She's had a heart attack. But no one's picked this up. Now, surely all of these tests that they've run at all the hospitals should have picked something up, because I don't think, I'm not medically trained anyway, but I'm sure you just don't have a heart attack out of the blue. You've got to have problems first with your heart to then go on to have a heart attack. But anyway, I've left it and not said anything. So she's had a heart attack. The cardiologists are looking after her. She's on tablets now, which are going to thin, any clots or anything that are in the arteries and clear them out. And she's now on a ward with the cardiology people who are trained to deal with that. But my whole point of this video is because what I've come to notice is there's no communication in the NHS, and that is where it's broken. Some of these hospitals, the first one and the second one, the A&E, yeah, they're dirty. Dirty. And I want to talk about the staff as well, the nurses, the doctors, everyone there. From what I've seen over the past couple of months, different times of the day, different hospitals, I'm going to tell you what I think. Don't get me wrong, staff are lovely. I have got no issues with the staff. Well, there's a couple that were miserable, and you shouldn't have even been in the job because you seriously don't enjoy the job. You don't like being interrupted and disturbed from standing there drinking your coffee, so you're miserable and shouldn't be in the job. But apart from that, majority lovely staff, but I do not think there's any structure. I do not think there's any structure. There's no communication from hospital to hospital, and even staff to staff. I don't think there's enough that is going down, that is being communicated with each other, you know, from doctors to nurses, nurses back to the doctors, from consultants to the doctors. It's all higgledy-piggledy. And also what I wanted to say is the staff, plenty of staff, I believe, in my eyes, this is my opinion, there was plenty of staff in the A&E, on the wards, in all the hospitals. But because there's no structure, they're overwhelmed. Does that make sense? There's no structure, but also I think more work gets put on more of them than others. Because half of them are running around like super busy bees. They don't stop, you know, they're running patient to patient, then they're doing notes, blah, blah, blah. The other half are constantly standing around talking at the stations or standing around in corridors talking. And I'm thinking, so why is half of you just stood there talking and the other half are getting all the slack? They're picking up all the slack everywhere, and you're just mulling around and just looking busy every hour. So that is my personal opinion on this. I would love to hear other people's thoughts on this, what experiences, what you've seen in the A&Es. And like I said, I know they work hard in there, some of them. I know they work hard, just like millions of others work hard out here, okay? So I just wanted to bring attention to how some parts of the NHS is broken and some are not. Some are working well, and some are not working so well. But overall, they need structure, because no one knows really what they're doing. They're just running around from patient to patient, and and questioning each other on everything. And then half of them are just stood there, you know, just chatting or at the station on their phone. That is my personal experience of the NHS. Right now, I'm waiting for my mother to come home with her tablets for her heart. That should be today or tomorrow. But please let me know your thoughts, experience, everything else on the NHS, because I would really love to see if this is something across the whole country or just where we live in Dorset in England. So please let me know your thoughts.